Thank you, Glenn. So this morning, I entitled this Dharma talk "Begin Again." It's the basic premise is lifted out of one of my favorite books entitled Zen Guitar by Philip Toshio Sudo. And anyone who's heard me speak before knows that I love music as an analogy to practice. And I'll read a brief passage out of this book and then comment on it. So Philip talks about a dojo in this example, and he says that while it's true that in some schools a student formally graduates from one belt to the next, in the Zen Guitar Dojo there is no such graduation. Students here receive one belt and one belt only, the white belt. Those who put in the time, training, and effort will find their belt getting so soiled that eventually it turns black of its own accord. Only then will they have achieved black belt status. In Zen guitar, the black belt is not a goal or an end anyway. At other schools, the black belt may signify ultimate achievement, but in Zen guitar, it is only a point along the path. I have great respect for those who reach the black belt level. It takes sincere commitment. But the true way of Zen guitar asks black belt players to redouble their training until their belt becomes so worn and frayed it begins to lose color and returns to white. Only through completion of that circle, white to black, black to white, can one know the depth of the way. I return to that analogy of practice often and continue to do so. And what I take from it is, yes, a redoubling or doubling down of my effort, a beginning again. But the next question that comes in my mind is, what am I practicing? What am I redoubling my efforts towards? And I'm interested to hear from you all. What I can say is, as I continue to refine my practice and what I do, I try to ensure that my thoughts, words, and actions are those that contribute, cultivate, and facilitate a flourishing in my life rather than a closing off or shutting down or isolation in my life. I can give you many examples, but those examples will be particular to me. And what I'd like to encourage and invite you to do is find examples that are relevant to you. Because what may open up my life, you may bristle at, and that's okay. Because what makes us different adds to the rich mosaic of this existence. So when we begin again, I'm interested in and would invite you to pay attention to what we are beginning again. Does a behavior need to be changed or modified or revisited in a deeper way? And lastly, I'd just like to mention a quality of beginning again. I have a friend who seems that whatever they do, they're swinging for the fences. Every single at bat needs to be a grand slam home run. And I personally prefer a lighter touch, a lighter approach. I can inch up to the edge. I can dance with my opportunities today. I can meet them in a friendlier space, and it doesn't always work out. But in the immortal words of that Zen movie Moneyball, I'm just interested in getting on base. So with that, I'm interested to hear your comments, your examples, and I just wanted to say thank you for joining us in practice today. Thank you.
on the tail of your last example there, Johnny, I was trying to think through the whole thing as you were talking about, like what I would redouble down on or what my focus is. But after that, it's pretty obvious, letting go of perfection. That's a big barrier. I know for me, want to do it right, want to get it good, want to go all in. That I know that in a lot of areas, especially as I've been trying to do more of my own hobbies and things that bring me joy in life, it's actually that perfectionism that keeps me from doing them. So thank you, Johnny.
Thank you. And so, through the lens of Zen Buddhism, I find myself paying more attention to, do I have to let go of perfection perfectly? We get to the old eyeball staring back at itself, right? So the analogy I like to use is, it's okay to color with a box of broken crayons. I don't always have to go out and get a brand new fresh set of Crayolas. But thank you for the example.
Mhm.
Sometimes I have problems with that statement, Molly,
Mhm.
that I want to come back to letting go of striving for perfection or perfectionism. And the reason is not that I have a problem with that, because as many of you know, in my ceramics, I practice the wabi-sabi Japanese style, which is a very open to imperfection.
Mhm.
But I think we need to distinguish between striving for perfection and expecting perfection. We should always be striving for, well, first of all, I would agree we need to drop the word perfection altogether. There is no such thing. Striving for the best possible and expecting the best possible. We should always be striving for it, because we should always be striving to get better and do better and be better. But always striving with the understanding that I don't have to get there for life to be complete and good and wonderful.
And that's the kicker for me.
Yeah,
It's that
And
obsession.
it is
I
for
need
many
to.
people.
Mhm.
I think the unfortunate thing is that some people approach Buddhism as releasing that need for striving at something.
Mhm.
It's like, no, you're still striving. And the Dalai Lama has said this multiple times, where he'll be interviewed and people will misquote the second noble truth and say, oh, so what you all are teaching is that you need to let go of striving or desire completely. And he's like, no, 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 no. If we weren't striving, there would be no need to practice. It's what you're striving for and why you're striving.
Mhm.
So there is that kind of
Mhm.
dual-faced unity of,
That discernment of what you're striving for.
right,
And that's like, I've got striving in space.
yeah.
But recognizing when that striving is like healthy and helpful and growing, and when it's actually getting in your way.
Great, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it is that discernment and that awareness of, oh, I've let this become an obsession. I'm no longer striving to get better, I'm striving to be perfect. And that's why I'm suffering.
Mhm.
So yeah.
I love that distinction of when my striving gets in the way of, versus allowing me to progress along the path.
Yeah.
and I'm designing a T-shirt that has, well, what was it? Strivings. I got plenty of strivings. Now I forget it. I should have written it down.
I have
I got
striped spades.
I got strivings in spades. There's a T-shirt coming out, right? I have a friend who talks about it in terms of a puzzle piece. He says, I'm not perfect. It's not like I'm a perfect square puzzle piece. I have kind of weird oblong edges, but how I fit in perfectly. I just have to wake up to that fact. And I love that. I love that analogy as well. Does anyone else have any comments?
I just wanted to say I love the quote that you read today. That's really cool. I like that. Uh, I like that a lot. There, yeah, I'm gonna have to mull on that one, but I really liked it.
And for all those minimalists out there, that means you only have to carry around one belt. He also goes on because it's very much, the book is very much biased towards music and guitar playing. Um, but he goes on to interview or grab quotes from very famous guitarists. And one of the other underlying premises of the book, because he approaches it in the spirit of Zen, is if you only play one note in your entire life, if your life represents one note, please just play it with heart. And I love that. It's not about how to jam so many notes into a musical piece, but just play one note and play it with heart. And I've carried that with me for some time now too.
I'm with Glenn. I love the original, the portion you read earlier. And I feel like, I've been sitting here going, well, where am I? Do I have a fresh white belt? And it occurs to me that no matter where you are on that journey, wherever you are, double down. And so that's what I'm feeling called about. It's like where I'm at, I'm going to double down.
Yep. You left me speechless, Kelly, and that doesn't happen often. So anyone else?
I'll speak on that. I just, yeah, I really enjoyed that. And I have to be reminded constantly because with what I do for work, it's, well, one of it, I'll just explain it because it'll make more sense for you guys. I teach children dance and we also compete with them. And then I do like aesthetic things like hair and nails. So everything is this. I've been in such a world for so long of everything needing to look perfect and be perfect, and that constant, running on a treadmill towards that. And I've never in my life until I found recovery and especially Dharma and now these Buddhist teachings and practices, never felt content, or good enough, or, how can you? And I wouldn't say I'm happy now, but I'm content, right? And that's the key word for me. Being able to release that idea of perfection and then really realize that when we release it and instead when I look in towards who I really am and what naturally comes out when I stop trying to force that perfection is already like perfectly imperfect. It's I don't feel the need to run towards that perfection anymore because I realize what is already there is what we need. And it's, I don't know, it's not unfortunate. I think everyone's learning, right? Everyone's constantly learning, but the world is so geared now towards this idea of perfection and looking and acting. And, you know, the owner where I work will often have lectures with the kids about, you know, just they kind of it kind of hurts when I hear it, because it's, you know, their lectures about like, this is what's important in life and working hard and, you know, getting to that, you know, blah, 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 like that point of, you know, being someone that other people strive to be like, you know, that's a lot of it. It just doesn't, it feels very conflicting when I'm hearing her, you know, tell these kids this. And so then I'm always trying to come in with this like kind of, I guess, unconditional love for them and understanding that it's okay that they are where they are in that moment. And yeah, it's just, that's what came up for me. So thanks for listening, everyone.
Thank you, Kara.
Kara, what you're talking about was really powerful for me. You can't tell I have wildly curly hair, and as a young child, you know, that doesn't conform to anything, to that image of perfection. And my hairstylist now specializes in curly hair, and no matter what I look like on any given day, because of her, I know, you know, I appreciate where I'm at and the beauty that I have. And I think you're bringing that to those kids' lives. And I think that's pretty special.
Thank you, Kelly. And I have to say, curly hair is beautiful, no matter what anyone thinks. And you do need to know how to cut it. So don't let someone, you know, tell you, oh, it's your hair. No, it's the way they're cutting it.
Does anyone else at the center or online have a comment or a response they'd like to share?
This is Amy. I would really like to share. So when you were sharing about the belt, that just, it reminded me of a time I had with a friend. We like to kind of play. We love going to the thrift store and finding old items. And I remember the first time she told me about it. She was like, you know, I grew up with a very vain mother. Yeah, it's fun. But so when I go to the store, it's like, oh, let me buy more clothes, shoes, accessories. And so this was the first time I'm experiencing someone looking for items. And so anyways, I'll walk you through it like it's real time. So we walk into the store and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go here. And then she goes, okay, I'm gonna go look at the books and see if anything wants to go home with me. What? And so, of course, I needed an explanation. And she like, well, sometimes they just call out to you. What? So anyways, this whole process was something that I was thinking about as you described this belt becoming black through use. And long story short, that's basically what she was doing. So one of my first experiences of reading something energetically was a book. I don't even remember what the book was, but I remember the feel of it. I don't know what kind of book it was, but you know, I've held holy manuscripts before. So I know what it feels like when it's new off the shelves. I know when it's like highly esteemed and respected in a sanctuary. I know the one that you you use to take you to that next moment when you don't know where that strength is going to come from. And so this is that kind of book. I don't know if it's a holy manuscript, but it was someone's strength when they didn't have it. And so again, I'm just speculating. I'm looking at this book. I can't hear it. It doesn't talk to me. But I'm imagining, because of the way it was treated, the way it was worn, the way the cover, it's just, there's something about something that you use daily, but you hold with the utmost respect. It has just such a delicate wear. Like sea glass in the ocean. And then I felt like this book told me another story, that it had at least 2 owners that used this item and held it close to them. And so that was the first impression that I received. And then the next impression was that perhaps this first original owner passed and they really inspired somebody, family member, a younger somebody. And then this younger somebody took this item and they didn't really read it, which was interesting. But I could tell how they loved that text, how they carried it with them. It was a different kind of worn. So there's a lot more that I could say, but that was very, very special to me. And what I look at my life is, I think that one day I'm going to be standing in front of this being and I'm going to be like, oh man, wow, you love me that much? You did all of that for me? Really? Well, what can I do for you? Oh, that time has passed? Ah, I really wish I had something more to give to you right now. And so I just have a feeling that one day that might be the possibility, and just on like a hunch, I want to make sure that my belt is treated with the utmost respect, love, kindness. It is used, it is loved, it is, I don't know, words fall short. But one day, all I will have to give is that belt and a story that is told without words, just like that book did to me. Thank you.
Thanks, Amy. Do we have any other comments? Okay. So thank you everyone for your comments and for practicing with us today. We will wrap it up on page 3 and 4 with the Bodhisattva vow and the 4 immeasurables. Creations are numberless, I will strive to free them. Delusions are inexhaustible, I will strive to transform them. Reality is boundless, I will strive to perceive it. The awakened way is unsurpassable, I will strive to embody it. May your thoughts, words, and actions be corrective and encompassing of the pragmatic Buddhist path. May you approach this week with deference and dignity, and may you spread your personal peace to all those you encounter. May all sentient beings have happiness and its causes. May all sentient beings be free of suffering and its causes. May all sentient beings not be separated from sorrowless bliss. May all sentient beings abide in equanimity, free of bias, attachment, and anger. Svaha. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Johnny. Thanks, everybody.